So I want to talk to you about something today that I get asked a lot about. People will find my page, they'll watch the content, or resonate with them, kind of understand what I'm saying, but then they ask, but how does it actually work? Like, what do you actually do? So today I'm going to walk you through exactly what I do, the framework behind every client I work with, the structure that takes someone from knowing and understanding their patterns to actually being free from them. And that framework is called Reset, and it's my signature framework. It runs through everything that I do, every one-to-one client, every group program, even a single 90-minute session will move through elements of this framework. So it's not just a program name. I do have a program called Reset, but it's how I work, and it's the lens through which I see every pattern, every person, every breakthrough. And I built it because everything else that I'd seen, therapy and stuff that I'd been through, everything that I tried myself, kind of worked on the surface and it managed the symptoms, but it didn't touch the root. And Reset touches the root. Reset stands for 5 phases. So reveal, extract, shift, embody, track. Each one builds on the last, and together they create something that most people have never experienced before, and that's permanent change. Not I'm doing better, not I'm managing it. Gone, restructured, done. Let me walk you through each one. The first phase is reveal. And this is where most people are surprised, because we don't start with the problem, we start with the pattern. And there's a difference. The problem is what you see. So the anxiety, the self-sabotage, the relationships that keep going wrong, that pattern that you keep repeating. And it's that pattern that's running underneath everything. The belief that got installed long before you probably ever had any say in the matter. And most of the people that I've worked with tell me that this phase alone causes huge revelations because they've been trying to fix the wrong thing all along. Phase 2 is extract. So once we can see the pattern, we can get to the root of it. And this is where timeline therapy comes in. We're not just talking about where the pattern came from. We're going to go back to the moment it was created. And then we release any emotional charge that's been keeping it alive. So we tackle 5 main emotions. That's anger, sadness, fear, hurt, and guilt. And these aren't just feelings. In NLP terms, they're stored energy. And that's what keeps the pattern running on a loop. Extract clears that energy at the source. And this is the phase that makes most people cry. And it's not because it's painful, but it's because they can suddenly feel the weight lifting. Something that they've carried for years, decades even. It's just gone. Phase 3 is shift. This is the structural work. This is where we go into the actual architecture of how your mind is running that pattern, and we change it. So submodality work, internal voice recoding, and belief restructuring. So yes, I know they are the technical terms. So to put it more simply, your brain represents your experiences in a particular way, okay? That's personal to you. The pictures it makes, the sounds it hears, the feelings it generates, and those representations drive your behaviour automatically. So what we do in shift is change the representation. So we change how that experience is coded internally. And it's when that code changes is when your behaviour changes. And it will change without the need for willpower, without effort, without having to remind yourself every day to be different. You just are different. And that's the shift. Phase 4 is embody. I love this one because knowing something and living it are 2 completely different things. I know because I've been there. This phase is about installation, okay, integration. We anchor your new identity into your nervous system so it just becomes your default way of doing things. It's not something you have to remember to do, not something you have to work at. You just are that new identity. So stay anchoring, identity rehearsal, future pacing,
Again, all technical terms, but essentially we rehearse the version of you that's emerged from the previous 3 phases. And we do this by simulating real situations under pressure in moments that would have derailed you. And when we do that, clients show up differently, but they show up differently without even noticing. They respond instead of react. They make decisions from their new identity rather than their old one. They even walk into rooms, they even carry themselves differently. And this is the phase where people start saying things like, I don't know what's happened, but something has changed. Like they can't put their finger on it, but they just are different. And that is embodiment.
The final phase is track, okay? Because real change isn't just a moment, it's a trajectory. So in the track phase, we monitor, we just see what's integrated, we make sure it's stayed, we see if there's anything that needs reinforcing. Is there an old pattern that's trying to creep back in? If there is, we correct it before it takes hold again. This is what makes the work that I do different from a single session or a course that you do once and forget. We track the change. We make sure it's taken hold. We make sure that that version of you that emerged 3 phases ago is still showing up, not just daily, but weekly, monthly, yearly. That's what permanent change means. It's not perfect. It's not never having a bad day or a hard day. It's just never going back, ever.
Now, whether you choose to work with me for 90 minutes, for 3 weeks, for 8 weeks, this is the map that we're working from. The depth changes, the destination changes, the time we spend together will change. But the framework is always reset. When I built Reset, I built it because I needed it myself. I spent years knowing exactly what I needed to change. I could analyse my patterns, I knew my triggers, I understood them. I'd done the therapy, 2 years, read the books, had the conversations, did the affirmations, but I still couldn't stop them. Because understanding a pattern is not the same as dismantling it. And Reset dismantles it. So if you've been stuck in the same loop, the same anxiety, the same patterns, the same version of you showing up even when you don't want it to, this is for you. And it's not because you're broken. It's because you're wired for something that no longer fits. And that wiring can change. So after all that, if you'd like to find out whether this work is right for you, I have a free 30-minute discovery call. The link is in my bio, or you can DM me the word Reset. We'll take it from there. It's simply a conversation. There's no pressure, no pitch, just a chat. I hope I get to speak to you soon.